Pops, we are coming off of the worst quarter in car sales in over a decade. Although, you say that sentence, and then on the other hand, dealers made record profits, automakers said they made record profits. I think the only people really getting screwed here are us consumers, but...
We're it! We're it, everybody!
All right, let's talk about what happened last quarter in retail auto. The number of cars sold down significantly. Interest rates going up, inflation going up, consumer sentiment going down. What's your read on the room?
I think that manufacturers can't keep up with the type of production that they need to be producing.
It's almost like you do a daily show on the auto industry.
Sort of. And I think consumers, because of inflation, are becoming fearful. And they aren't feeling as good about where we're at purchase power-wise. And I think that's impacting the automobile industry. I think it's impacting all industries, but it's particularly impacting the automobile industry. If you're like me and you need to know about EVs, tune into our new show on YAA Electric, Plugged In, Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Initially, at the beginning of the year, many prognosticators were projecting that on a seasonally adjusted basis that we would sell 16 million new cars in the United States this year. Through the first quarter, everybody has reduced their prediction down to about 15.3 million. Don't be surprised if it doesn't hit 15 million, because things are only going to get worse, at least in my opinion. And the reason I say they're going to get worse is you're going to have interest rates going up, making cars less and less affordable. Gas prices continuing to go up, which is going to impact the amount of disposable income people have for automobiles.
Yeah.
Production that can't seem to get out of its own way, so that we're not going to have the cars to sell. I just don't see how it gets better for quite some time. I know for the first quarter, they're projecting that the seasonal adjusted sales rate is like 12.7 million.
Yeah, so if you took the number of vehicles, new vehicles that were sold in the first quarter and just played that out again three more times for the year, it'd be 12.7 million, which would be like 2008 type levels.
Might be lower than that even.
Yeah, I mean, like that would be staggeringly low for the industry.
Yes.
Can you talk a little bit about when was the last time interest rates were rising and that you were selling cars? I'm trying to think about when that last was and what that experience was like.
Well, interest rates have been low for so long now since the Great Recession.
Yeah.
I mean, we're going on 12 years or 14 years of really pretty inexpensive interest rates. In the 80s, during the Carter administration and the Reagan administration, I mean, interest rates were astronomical. And when I say astronomical, it wasn't uncommon to have interest rates on auto loans of 18, 19, 20%.
I can't even fathom that.
I know you can't. Mortgage rates, if I got a good rate on a mortgage, it was an adjustable rate mortgage, and it was like 14.5%. And that was a good rate.
How do you afford anything when interest rates are that high?
You don't. Well, and one of the ways that you can afford things is my money market account was making like 12 or 13% annually.
Holy hell.
Okay. As opposed to today, where a savings account makes about, 0.75%.
Gotcha.
So, I mean, everything's relative in that sense. But the point is that it scares the hell out of people. So, and the Fed has said that they're going to raise interest rates every 6 weeks, which will amount to 7 times this year. Well, we've already seen mortgage rates have gone up. We're seeing that automobile rates are going up, and they're just going to continue to go up. So every time there's a rate increase, you have a 6-week window to do something before there's another rate increase. That's going to impact sales.
And then you're going out to try and buy a car. And I bet you there's a lot of like fatigue, buyer fatigue is how I would describe it. And hell, we read about it on the community forum. People are tired of going places and not being able to buy something.
Can I tell you what other type of fatigue there is? Pundit fatigue. I'm tired of talking about it every day.
Yeah.
I'm tired of talking about all the negative things that are impacting the industry that I spent the bulk of my life in.
Because you've never experienced anything like this.
This is I can remember in the early '80s when the U.S. government put limits on how many vehicles could be imported from Japan.
Yeah.
And when I was running a Nissan store at the time, which is one of the things that encouraged Nissan and Toyota and all the others to build their factories in the United States so that they'd be able to have some production here to counteract, well, you can't bring in this many cars from your home country. But that was the last time I had seen inventory levels that were ridiculously low, but not as low as what we're seeing today. There's many dealerships where when we talked to Marcello last week up in Canada, and he's at a large Toyota dealership, and they had one new Toyota in stock that wasn't sold. They had others that were in stock that were pre-sold, awaiting their owners to come in and take delivery. But to be a store that sells 250 to 300 new Toyotas a month, to have one just for available inventory for some poor guy or gal to come and go, hey, I want a car, to go, we got one, hope you like it. That's tough.
Yeah, no one wins in this situation.
No.
The only quote-unquote winner would be if, as the dealership, you're able to mark up the price and get someone to buy it. Sure, then maybe in a very transient moment you won, in the sense that maybe you made an extra couple $3,000, $4,000, $5,000.
Yeah.
But they're not winning long-term with this. No one's excited about this.
No.
It's honestly, it's hard to see. And I think you're right. Cox adjusted their estimate down to $15.3 million. This is just like when we do the chip shortage updates.
Yes.
It's going to go from 15.3. Next quarter, it's going to be 14.7. Then it's going to be 14. Then it's going to be 13.3.
Because if the second quarter turns out to be as disappointing as the first quarter,
Which won't it?
well, I don't know why it wouldn't.
Why wouldn't it?
I mean, if
What positive indicator do you see?
if more and more manufacturers are shutting down production,
They're stopping fleet sales.
yeah, Hyundai said there are no fleet sales for April, May, and June. Okay, because they're just trying to get as many cars to their dealers as they can, and they can't. Even doing that, they can't get very many cars to their dealers. So, I don't really suspect that the second quarter is going to be that much better than the first quarter. I think there's just too many things going on in the world that negatively impact the potential for production at a high level.
I completely agree. All right, anyway, worst quarter for automotive in a decade. I would not be surprised if we're doing another version of this video 3 months from now.
Or tomorrow.
Worst quarter for automotive since last quarter.
Yeah, could be.
Because it really seems like I wish we had good news. You know what the bit of good news is that we have? The community's coming together.
Yes.
We're doing the car dealership reviews.
Yes.
We should be proud of that.
Yes.
So we are finding dealerships who are charging MSRP. We're starting to build the database of dealerships who charge accessories, who charge market adjustments, the dealerships that don't, the dealers that charge reconditioning fees, the dealerships that will allow you to do pre-purchase inspections. So you know what? We're taking a bad situation. We've been talking about it for months, and we're taking some action. We have in transit now on the cars search. You can see cars, like little steps, baby steps. But there's a way to make lemonade out of these lemons.
I hope so.
I'll make you an Arnold Palmer afterwards.
I'm looking forward to it.
All right, Pops. Thanks as always.
Thank you.